So today we're going to talk about what are voice registers and what are voice types. So registers are that sympathetic resonance that occurs when your resonators are firing. And so we have three basic voice types. We have chest voice, we have middle voice, we have head voice. So that chest voice is you can easily find it. It's easily discovered by putting your hand right here on your chest and saying, ah, 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 ah. You can feel this vibration here. And that's the sympathetic resonance of that vibration happening. And that's why we call it chest voice. A lot of people talk in their chest voice. You can hear people who have low voices. They talk in their chest voice. Also, sometimes, if you're trying to talk a little bit more quiet, the chest voice might happen for you if you're a naturally higher voiced person. Then we have middle voice. And middle voice is between chest and head. Makes a lot of sense, right? That middle voice or mixed voice, I feel here. I feel in my pharynx. I feel it in a lot of ways. Say in that throaty sound that maybe you are familiar with the famous chef Julia Child, or someone who talks here and it's a little more throaty. Ah, ah, ah. Adele sings in her middle voice a lot. That's why she has that very throaty sound. And from here, that middle voice then bridges into head voice. And that's here. That I don't feel in my chest. I don't feel here, but I feel it somewhere right in here above my eyes. It's here, and it is more hooty, what we call more of a hooty voice. So when I do my sirens and I go, oh, I'm literally going through all of the registers. I start out in chest, ah, and you hear that little switch? That little switch is where my voice then turns into middle voice. Ah, ah, and then right into head. By doing those sirens, you're helping have those registers become less significant in their break and less orally picked up on by a listener. So we don't want those breaks unless you're purposely trying to yodel or sing a specific style that requires that. And there's some pop singing that is chest related, then head voice is really, really soft. But what we don't want is we don't want that. We don't want these big voice on the top and not very much in the chest voice. All three of those registers are very important in what is called a healthy instrument and healthy singing. So knowing those helps you negotiate when your music might have a wide range. But also being heard and being resonant. You want to think about those sympathetic resonances that you can use to make the voice stronger, more unified, and doing scales are really important as well, thinking about the registration that you use. So sometimes people are better at certain registers than others because of their voice type. And there are lots of subcategories to voice types, but we're going to keep the information on this a little more simple for our purposes. And you've heard some singing by a lot of different people through your YouTube links, and some of them are sopranos, some of them are mezzo-sopranos, some of them are tenors, some of them are basses. So there are those kinds of voice types, and if you've sung in choir at all, then you kind of have a feel for that. And so we're going to kind of keep it general and choir-like in our discussion. But voice type and classification, it's a way that a person can know what they're good at and where their voice naturally tends to sit. It's a way to separate voices and instruments for natural strengths. So women can be classified into several types. There are sopranos, which are the higher voiced women, higher voiced singers, and they really live in head voice. Oh! They live there. It's easier for them to sing in that range. Mezzo-sopranos have a more medium voice. They like to live in that pharyngeal space. Ah! It's a little more warm, a little deeper, a little stronger in the middle part of the voice. Then there's contraltos. Now, contraltos are pretty rare. Don't know very many contraltos. I've maybe run across 3 or 4 really true contraltos in my lifetime. And they are unique. And they easily sing in their chest voice. They just naturally need to sing here. They have very low speech voices. They tend to get confused on the phone. People think they're men sometimes. So it's just a natural part of being a contralto. And if you're a contralto, that's great because there are very few of you, and singing, say, Tracy Chapman songs or Nina Simone songs, or if you're a classical singer, singing some of those famous, Ava Puglis is a famous contralto. Singing some of that contralto music is beautiful and rich and really fun because it naturally sits in a place that's in your speech place. Contraltos generally speak even lower. Like I said, they get confused sometimes with being men, lower than most women. So being able to sing in your speech voice is great. Often, a lot of the women, especially the mezzo-sopranos and sopranos, have similar ranges. Mezzo-sopranos can sing a high C, but it's about stamina, and it's about their ability to stay above the staff for long periods of time. It's harder for a mezzo, just as it's harder for a soprano to sing in the lower part of her voice for a long period of time for her as well. That's where the voice naturally wants to sit, and that's how we classify those voices for women. Male voices, they have similar kinds of classifications. The highest voice among men are tenors. They generally have higher speaking voices and are sometimes over the phone. People think they might be a woman with a little bit of a low voice, but they tend to talk higher, and they like to sing higher. It's easier for them to sing higher, just like a soprano. The medium voice for men is the baritone. They have a little bit lower voice. It sits lower than the tenors, and they are often expected to sing in their speech range. And so being a baritone is a little easier because they can speak and sing in the same range. The lowest voice and the most rare, just like women, the contralto lowest voice in women is rare. A bass is really rare. Male bass, true bass singers who have super, super low notes are very rare, and usually if you can sing and you're a low bass, you can have a really great career and make a lot of money as a singer because they're very rare to find, very hard to find, and can make a good amount of money as a professional singer. This is like I said, it's the lowest of all the voice types. And when you hear a bass speak, you know it. You're very interested in their sound. It's usually very rich. Really famous bass would be country western singer. Oh my gosh, I can't think of his name right off the top of my head all of a sudden. But Trace Atkins, very low bass voice there. Another famous bass that I can think of is the guy who everybody likes to listen to when they're having some romance in the household. Who is that, Robert? My cameraman.
Barry White.
Barry White, yes. Everybody loves to hear Barry White talk and Barry White sing. That low voice, there's something about a low male bass voice. So you know one when you hear it. It's really, really, really comforting and great, and it's, I don't know, it's warm, and it's everything a girl could hope for. So, Barry White, yeah. So, in order to find what your maybe most natural gift would be, is to discover which register you like to sing in, which register is easier for you. And that will help you know what voice type you are. Also, listen to your speech. How is it among the people around you? Is it higher or is it lower? Having those kinds of questions answered can kind of help you intuitively know what your range is. So, if you have any questions about registers or voice types, be sure you send me an email. You'll be asked to send me a video or upload a video of you singing a scale, and that will help me also give you some information to help you determine your voice type. And I will also help you figure out how to get those voices, chest voice, middle voice, and head voice, to sound like one continuous voice with no breaks, so that you can be as efficient of a singer as you can. Good luck.